Hello there, I'm Chef Johnny, and this is Texas Style Cuisine. Appreciate you stopping by. We've got a lot of things going on today. Going to show you some new things that we have here. As you can see, I got a slow and sear sitting up in front of me, and I have some of It's Incredible. And I'm anxious to try this out. And what we're going to try these on is we are going to cook a wild hog ham. Kind of show you the items we got here. This is the slow and sear 2.0, I think is what they call it. Got it in just before Christmas, and I haven't used it yet, and I apologize for that to Nigel. Some of y'all may know who Nigel is, some of y'all may not, but Nigel doesn't have a channel, but he's a big supporter of YouTube and YouTube channels, and he won this from Dave Parrish when he was on the hot seat. He was giving one away. Nigel's over in the UK, so what he did was said, give it to Chef Johnny. So Nigel, thanks a lot for this. I'm sorry I haven't used it yet, but had a lot going on, and I'm sure we'll discuss that in the future, what's been taking place with me. But the new one has the water pan that'll come out, which is handy, and I think it's riveted together instead of welded, but it's nice. It's heavy stainless steel, so we're going to see how this cooks. We're going to put this in our Weber kettle and try to do a slow cook with it. Never have used one before. I hear great things about them. I have other people griping about them. I don't know, but I tell you what, we're fixing to find out for ourselves how this slow and sear works. But I do appreciate Dave giving it away and Nigel passing it over to me. And the other thing is it's incredible. I haven't tried it myself, but we're gonna give this a shot, see how it turns out on a wild hog ham. One of my son's buddies shot it the other day, brought over and gave us one of the hams off of it, so we were excited about that, and we're gonna barbecue that up and see how it'll cook a wild hog ham with this slow and sear and with the It's Incredible rub. But let me get my ham out, show you how we're gonna season it up. Then we'll get the kettle going and see if we can get this cook done. You can see my ham here, and I tell you, it's I don't know, I'm just guessing 5-6 pounds maybe, and it's been soaking overnight in an ice water bath with some apple cider vinegar. Get my It's Incredible going. Let's do the back side first. And I'm going to coat this pretty liberally with this. I'm going to get plenty on there. I want to make sure that we give it a fair chance to see if it's any good or not. I did taste it. I think it tastes good. It's got a good flavor to it. I know James over at Aim'em and Claim'em Smokers, if y'all watch him, he just raves about it. He loves doing his turkeys with this. But James is one of the first ones I just really heard just raving about how great this It's Incredible is. So, I actually got this on a giveaway from another friend of mine. We do a lot of giveaways today, but Kent over at Daddy Dutch Barbecue and Cooking, I think he had 500 subscribers and did a little giveaway, and I won this big bottle of It's Incredible. So Kent, thank you for that. So I'm gonna let this sit for a while, and we're gonna move the cameras around, get them on the Weber kettle so you can see us getting the slow and sear in there and see if we can get it fired up and going. Let's start setting this kettle up. I'm gonna put my slow and sear in right there. Fits right under the grate. Put some water in my trough. Take my charcoal, just regular Kingsford Blue. That's what I use all the time. I use it in my barbecue vaults, and I use it in the Weber. I use it in my Barrel House cooker. What it tells you to do on this slow and sear is to light about a dozen charcoals in one corner, and then put your other charcoals in. Well, I've already got my charcoal in, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my lit charcoals. They give you some nice tongs. Came with my slow and sear, but we'll use those. I'm going to put a dozen in this corner, then I'll push these over on top of it, and of course add some wood to it so that we get some nice wood smoke in there with our charcoal burn on this wild hog ham. Tell you what, went to get my wood chips. They're all on the barbecue trailer. Wife and the son took it to town today to sell. I'm here at the house recording these, and so what do you do when you don't have wood chips? Go to the oak tree and you get some sticks. So we have got some sticks of oak here and some little chunks that we're gonna put here that I had up underneath the oak tree here at the house. And We'll spread those around a little bit more once we get the other charcoal in here. So we've got that dozen in there. I'm just going to move these over now. Now, I'll tell you what it also tells you to do is put boiling water in your reservoir. Yeah, and I'm sure the reason why for that is so that you don't burn up all your charcoal heating up that water. Well, I didn't have a pot here with me in the outdoor kitchen today, and I just figured I'd let it heat up like that and see how it does. If I need to add some charcoal, we got a grill that'll fold up where we can add more to it. So not concerned a whole lot, but we've got our charcoal in there. I'm going to add some wood chunks. This Weber's made it up to 300 degrees. So I'm going to open it up. I'm going to take my ham, and I'm going to put it bone side toward the heat. If you look, here's the main part of the bone. So put that toward the heat. Cover it back up. I'm going to close the air intake on the bottom. Slow down the cooking a little bit, but I wanted to get it a little hot because I knew that big piece of meat in this Weber kettle was going to drop the temperature back down. So we're going to shut it down, let it cook. I'm going to go about 2 hours, and I'm probably going to spin this ham around, and let's cook the other side close to the fire for a little while. One thing I forgot is my meter. I'm going to take this, I'm going to put on the meaty side of that ham so that way I can track the internal temperature, but also the temperature of the pit. This is a great thermometer. If you haven't seen them, go down to my Amazon store below. Check these out. There's a link in there for these, and they're fantastic. About 2 hours into this cook, we're about 280 degrees. A good smoke. I'm going to take this and just going to spin it around. Let that meaty side get a little closer to the heat. About 5 hours into this cook, and checking the temperatures here. We're at 155 internal, so we got about another 30 degrees to go, and pit sitting at about 280. So it's been cruising there for 5 hours, doing really well. And difference between the gauge here and the meter is about 20 degrees. We're going to turn it up and do another turn on our pork butt. And it is still looking real pretty. I think I'm going to turn it over. Let's see if we can get some smoke on this other side. Let it cook that way a little while. Cover that back up. I bet you about 2 hours and this pork butt's going to be ready to go. It's been 3 hours. I really thought as small as this ham was that it would push on through that stall in a couple of hours and start getting close to that 185 mark. But I was wrong. We're pushing 180 right now. Not quite there, but it's been 3 hours. Hour and a half in, I did have to add some more charcoal to the slow and sear. So pick our lid up. And you can tell this thing is really getting dark. We've got a lot. It's getting close. It's getting real close. Got it turned over. It's looking good. Meter's still in. It's kind of pulled back away from it. I'm going to put it in there a little bit further, I think. Cover it back up. It's been running that 280 degrees mark. Good temperature. I was at a quarter, opened it up to about halfway. As the coals went down, opened it a little more. Then I added more coals in. Shut it back down to a quarter open on my air vent on the bottom. And it's been holding right around that 280 degree mark. So we're going to let it sit, I would say, less than an hour. We'll have this wild hog ham off of here and we'll slice it up and see how it turned out. About 9 hours into this and our ham is ready. So we're gonna get it off. Move this all the way out of the way. Had to add charcoal about twice to this slow and sear. So not bad at all. Put that on there. Shut down my pit, close the vents. Gonna let this rest a little bit, then we'll slice into it and let y'all see how it turned out. I'm gonna pull my meter out. Tell you, I like this. This took, I tell you, a lot longer than I thought it was. Either I kind of just, I didn't weigh it. Maybe I guessed how big I thought it was, and it was heavier. But I just really thought it cooked faster than it did. taking us about 9 hours to cook this. And it's just over 190 degrees, probably about 192 right now. The only thing I would have done differently is something I thought about doing. They don't show it in their brochure, but I've done it before. And I think that's one of the reasons it took longer is when I would turn that meter from side to side, you got about a 20 degrees difference from one side to the other. It'd be 280, and turn it this way, it'd be about 260. And as it got toward the fire and away from the fire. So that's probably why it took a little longer than I thought it was going to. But it came out real good. So the thing I would do to counteract that is, and I started to, and I didn't, but probably should have, was take that grate, that bottom grate, wrap it with foil, except for where the slow and sear is setting. That way the air's got to come that way. I think pulling some cold air up through those bottom vents is what kept this maybe not quite as uniform on both sides. I think if I would have sealed that off and it wasn't able to draft as much cold air through there, it would have done better. But this I tell you what, this is pretty. It held charcoal for a long time. Water pan didn't last the whole time, which I didn't figure it would, but I didn't want to boil new water and put in there, so I just kept going with what we had. And the other thing is that I added charcoal a couple of times to it, and that was easy, no problem at all. But it was a good cook. It did a good job. So let's kind of get in here and see. Here's the ball socket, so we know this bone's kind of running this way. So what I want to do is I want to just come in here, and I'm going to slice this, and we'll see what it looks like. That is looking pretty. Now this is a leaner piece of meat. It's not going to be as wet or as moist as a regular piece of pork, because these wild hogs, they're out and about and they're running around. They're working it just a whole lot more, that muscle. So therefore, it doesn't have the fat content. I tell you. Great flavor, good smoke. One thing I wanted to do was, by taking it to the slicing stage instead of up, we're trying to get it, in that 205 degree, 205, to get it to fall apart, was to maintain moisture, because these animals are not as fat as a domestic hog. They're gonna be a little tougher, and they're not gonna have that fat in there, so not as much moist. So I want to keep that temperature down to keep a little moisture in there. I did soak it overnight in the apple cider ice water. If I'd added some salt to that, it probably would have drawn in more moisture and helped it. I would say it's a little bit dry. But overall, this is, I think, an excellent ham off this little wild pig that we got. And it's nice, it's tender, it's packed full of smoke. And I haven't mentioned yet it's incredible. This bark has a great flavor to it. Nothing wrong with this bark at all. Slow and Sear did a great job. Dave Parrish, Adrenaline Barbecue, ABC Barbecue. Good job there. Put a link down below so you can find them. Michael Petrie with It's Incredible Heavenly Made Products out of Houston. Michael, great job, on making that rub. That rub was very good. Thank you, Kent Vanderweerd, Daddy Dutch Barbecue and Cooking, for sending that to me. Very, very good. And last and not least, Nigel, the one who sent me the Slow and Sear. He had won it. Like I said, he's over in the UK, and he said, hey, and he has one, actually. He has one of the other models, I believe. He said, hey, send that to Chef Johnny. So Nigel, thanks a lot for that. Sorry it took a while. We had quite a holiday. Some of y'all may not know, my sister actually has been fighting cancer, took a turn for the worst. And she passed away right before Christmas. And so it was a tough holiday for us this year. She was 66 years old, and the oldest of us, three siblings of us. So anyways, that was kind of tough. I've been putting out some videos that I had in stock, a few other videos. Y'all have seen me do some Blackstone stuff. And family wanted me to do a few things, so I did some stuff for the kids and with the kids and with that, and I just need to get back into the groove and hadn't done it yet. So we got that done, but thanks everybody that helped provide this meal. I tell you what, it all came from the slow and sear came from Dave, the rub came from Daddy Dutch and Michael Petrie, and the hog came from John's buddy Luke. So everybody supplied the meal for us today. So we thank y'all a lot. Excellent meal, excellent cook. Hope y'all give it a try. You get a chance to get you a wild hog, get you some. And I tell you what, I love the pork chops off a wild hog. They are fantastic, got a nice flavor to them, more flavorful than domestic hog. But it all came out good this time. Thanks for stopping by. Remember to tell your friends and family about us. Share us on your social media, and we're going to see y'all down the road on Texas-style barbecue and cuisine.
How them boys put food away beats all I've ever seen.